Welcome. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel as we deep dive into the stories shaping Nigeria's political landscape. Today, we are looking at a multi-million naira fenced estate property, a powerful government minister, and a furious naval officer. In November 2025, a dramatic scenario in Abuja revealed a bitter conflict over land, power, and the rule of law. This wasn't just about bricks and mortar. It was a direct confrontation between a civilian authority and a military institution. This is the high-stakes story of why Nyesom Wike wants to take over a property under the protection of CSP Major Yerima and the firestorm that followed. In Nigeria, land is power. And in the Federal Capital Territory, no one wields more power over land than the minister, Nyesom Wike. The planned takeover of a senior naval officer's property became a flashpoint, forcing the nation to ask, was this a courageous act of urban enforcement, or an arrogant abuse of power against a respected institution? To find out, we need to dig into the claims, the counterclaims, and the very land upon which this battle was fought. The protagonist, a clash of institutions. This story features two formidable figures, each representing a pillar of the Nigerian state. Nyesom Wike, the demolition man. Background: former governor, now FCT minister. He has built a reputation on being a no-nonsense enforcer, openly declaring a war on land grabbers and those distorting the Abuja Master Plan. Public mandate: his central justification, to reclaim public land from criminals and restore order to the FCT. This incident is a key test of that mission. CSP Major Yerima, the wrong officer. Background: a senior, decorated officer. His rank implies a career of service and a position within the disciplined military hierarchy. The victim's stance: he represents the individual citizen, even a powerful one, who feels their legitimate property and investment cannot be unjustly taken over by the state. The heart of the conflict: land, documents, and demolition. The conflict revolves around a single, crucial question: who rightfully owned that piece of land? The minister's accusation: the land belongs to the FCT. Wike's official position: the land was originally allocated to a former minister in the 1990s. That allocation was revoked by the FCT Administration for non-development. He claims Yerima and his boss had no legal title and were building illegally on public land. For Wike, this was a clear-cut case of enforcing the law. The Navy officer's defense: I have legitimate documents. Yerima's counterclaim: the land was purchased from the original allotee and possessed what he believed were genuine documents, including a C of O. He argued he invested heavily in the property, a sign of his belief in its legitimacy. From his perspective, the planned takeover was a brutal and unjust act that destroyed his boss's investment without due process. The dramatic takeover. The arrival of FCT officials and bulldozers. The officers' frantic, but ultimately futile, attempts to stop the demolition. The symbolism of the state machinery physically destroying the property of a military officer was incredibly potent. The aftermath. Fallout and national fury. The dust from the demolition had barely settled before a political and social storm erupted. The Navy's reaction: institutional anger. This was not just about one officer. The Nigerian Navy, as an institution, was reportedly furious. It saw the act as an affront to its dignity and a violation of the respect due to a sister security agency. This raised the stakes from a personal dispute to an intergovernmental conflict. The public debate: hero versus bully. Side A. Wike is a hero. Supporters praised him for having the courage to take on the untouchables, including the powerful military class, to restore the master plan. Side B. Wike is a bully. Critics accused him of selective enforcement, high-handedness, and destroying a citizen's property without a thorough investigation or court order. The legal and ethical questions. 1. Due process. Should the FCT minister have the power to demolish first, without a court ruling to definitively settle the land dispute? 2. Selective enforcement. Are demolitions primarily targeted at those who lack the political connections to fight back? Did targeting a naval officer reveal this, or disprove it? 3. The cost of enforcement. Is the destruction of a multi-billion naira asset a proportionate response to a land dispute, even if the government is right? Analysis. The bigger picture in Abuja. This incident is a single chapter in a much larger story about Abuja and power. A pattern of demolitions. The Yerima case is not isolated. Wike's tenure has been marked by several controversial demolitions of hotels, markets, and estates. This event is the most dramatic because of the profile of the victim. The Abuja Master Plan, justification or pretext? Is it being used as an impartial guide for urban development, or as a legalistic excuse to reclaim and reallocate valuable land for political and economic reasons? Power and impunity, a two-way street. The story forces a reflection on power. It challenges the perceived impunity of the political class, Wike's bold action, versus the perceived impunity of other powerful institutions, the military's expectation of deference. In the middle, the rule of law seems to be the casualty. Conclusion. The story of Wike and Yerima is a powerful allegory for modern Nigeria. It's a battle fought not with bullets, but with bulldozers and legal documents. It reveals the fragile line between assertive governance and overreach, and the constant tension between individual property rights and the state's power. The rubbles of that property in Abuja stands as a monument to a fundamental, unanswered question, in the fight for a better city, who protects the citizens from the protectors? What's your verdict? Was Wike right to demolish the property, or was this an abuse of power? Let us know in the comments below. If you want more deep dives into the stories shaping Nigeria, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching.
Can you take food? I'm not a food. I'm not a food. You can shoot anybody like that. I'm not a food. Can you take food? I'm not a food. I'm not a food. You can shoot anybody like that. I'm not a food.